Greetings, this is Scholar Saunders Scene. What's current? It's all about drugs. It's all about the drugs. This whole show is all about drugs. If you're not ready for it, leave. Nobody's here, but don't come in. And or if you are planning to come in, strap in and enjoy the ride because I'm talking about all kinds of drugs. It's one specific drug, especially, but it's made up of multiple drugs. Ever since the Diddy raid and the one of his lawsuits with I think his name is Rodney Johnson. Hold on, let me see. Lil Rod. I think his name is Rodney Jones. Keep saying Lil Rod. Oh my god. Yeah, Rodney Lil Rod Jones. He had named in his lawsuit about the what is called pink cocaine, which is ironic because very little trace amounts, if any, of the substance involves cocaine. What as an additive or as a drug. So we have an issue, and we need to address it. Back in the day, about 30, 40 years ago almost, we had the first lady, Ronald Reagan's wife, Nancy Reagan. She had her mission as a first lady. They usually have their missions, I think Gerald Ford, his wife, had the Ford Center, for recovering alcoholics, and I think it expanded into drug addicts. Of course, in recent years we had uh, Michelle Obama and her campaign for better food choices in lunch cafeterias and stuff like that. But she had a campaign called Just Say No. Nancy Reagan. Nancy Reagan had Just Say No to drugs. And you know what that did? It increased people to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to get me some drugs. Because the numbers show it. The sales spiked. The amount of users spiked. It all increased under that 80s and early 90s campaign. So we should say yes to life. That should be the key. Yes to life. Not no to drugs, but yes to life. I am all for legalizing every single drug, from heroin to cocaine to methamphetamine to everything, including this quote unquote pink cocaine. Even though it's also hidden because it's not necessarily pink either. It's just has a dye added to it. It would just to distinguish it from I think the look and the feel of cocaine because it's powder form. And so we have all these different ideas about Molly. We got ideas about ecstasy, X, whatever you want to call it. All of that is intertwined in this because it's basically based off of methamphetamines and MDMA and a whole host of different drugs that are involved. So we have to be very critical. We have to be very on point about this. And what I'm saying is these things should be completely legalized. They should be decriminalized. Anybody that has been in the penitentiary just for nonviolent drug offenses should be let free. They should be let go. They should be completely brought out to the world again. And I think this would be okay. Baja Jackson, salute, sir. Salute. I'm putting up the fist. Salute, Baja Jackson. Salute, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you. He put in $11, so I need 149 more dollars to go. 149 more dollars. We can do this, people. I believe in you. I believe in you. All right, so I'm looking at pharmaceutical companies. These are multi-billion-dollar companies. The kind of you see on TV, people are running around happy. Yeah, I have HIV and I'm taking care of it. Woohoo! I have diabetes and I'm losing weight. I'm getting less fat. Woohoo! All these different. You got AbbVie, you got Bristol Myers Squibb, Johnson and Johnson, Merck, Eli Lilly, Bayer, Pfizer, Novartis, Sanofi, Roche, AstraZeneca, Amgen, and these are just a few. These are just a few. These are the top sellers of multi-billion-dollar companies. Could you imagine if these companies? Sorry about that. I had an issue with the phone. Could you imagine if these companies got a hold of these cocaine and heroin. Like I want to see Johnson and Johnson with some crack cocaine on their and have ads promoting it. Now I'm being kind of silly, I'm being facetious in a bit, but I want it to be real. I want it to be like true, because that's the reason we have a war on drugs instead of a affirmation of living. Like I said, they said no to drugs, say no to drugs, and dare, what is that? Drug awareness. Oh man, drug awareness, resistance education. How many of us had dare in school? I know I did. I had dare, drug awareness and resistance education. How many of the kids followed that? How many of the kids actually took into account, what Dare was saying? They said, yeah, right. Give me that joint right there. Let me get that bowl. Let me get that crack pipe. Let me get that line of cocaine. Let me get that needle for the heroin. And it just goes on and on and on and on like that. That's how serious this thing is. Because it's illegal. It's illicit. What do you think? Why people are talking about the border? The border. Oh, well, the border needs to be controlled because they're allowing illicit drugs over to the country. Well, what the hell do you expect? What the hell do you expect when they're illegal? They're going to, of course, come in the country all crazy. Legalize, it's not that serious. Oh, my God. People in Chicago and New York and Miami are going to get gunned down because somebody went to smoke, a pipe of crack cocaine. It's really sad. Billions of dollars, billions of taxpayer dollars. This is the practical side. Billions of dollars of taxpayers has been poured into the anti-drug rhetoric over 50 years, 54 years since the regulations against drugs have been instituted by America. And I think, around the same time or within a few years, they were scheduling substances. They were putting in heavy penalties if you're ever caught with these substances, either in usage or in planning to sell and distribute. So this is very serious. This is a serious conversation I'm having. I'm not just being facetious all the way, but I'm just giving little hints into it because it is so mind-bogglingly stupid. And mind-bogglingly, is that a word? Well, it's devastating. It's devastatingly stupid. It's really dumb and it's evil. It's vicious. It's actually evil because people's lives have all been changed from people in millions, if not hundreds of thousands of people have been locked up behind bars. Hundreds of thousands of people have been locked up behind bars. And maybe millions have been locked up around the world. Definitely millions have been locked up because of these drug things. They fuel gangs. That's how they make their money. And they rob and steal. There's a Venezuelan gang that does jewelry heists, and they make money from the jewelry, and they also have ties to drug cartels. So this is how disgusting and disturbing it is when you have people's heads chopped off, and you have scenes looking like you're from The Wire or Breaking Bad. That's how serious this is. That's how serious all this is. So I'm saying to you, we have this election coming up in 3 months? We have an election coming up in 3 months that's going to determine what will be the course for the next 4 to 8 years, possibly. If whoever is, maybe it won't be 8 years for Trump. It'll be another 4 years for him. But if Kamala Harris is ever elected, it'll be 4, maybe possibly 8 years. So she's not a proponent of this. She can't be. It's too political. She can't be radical. Nobody can be radical. I'm looking for the radicals. The radicals and extremists. I'm an extremist for reason, and a radical. I'm an extremist for reason and individualism, and a radical for capitalism. Because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with capitalism. That essentially is the government protecting your rights, and especially your individual rights. Not making money, not necessarily trading value for value, even though those are encompassed under capitalism. That's not the direct definition of it. It's really about property rights and individual rights. That's I'm just paraphrasing and giving an idea. So we have to really respond to that. We have to respond to that idea, that thought process, because this is serious stuff. I mean, millions of people's lives are at stake. I mean, I was just looking at the information of quote unquote pink cocaine, and it raises your heart rate, it lowers your blood pressure, it increases your body temperature, it dilates your eyes, it makes you want to drink more water. It's just like MDMA. It basically is MDMA. It's basically like a heightened sense of Molly. That's what it really is. So we have to really take into stock all of this and how ridiculous it is that we haven't gotten to that point of saying legalize drugs, legalize drugs, legalize drugs. Like, there's a few people on the fringes, in politics that say legalize drugs, but they want, incremental, somewhat, kind of, sort of decriminalization, lesser years in prison. While we have Trump, oh my God, he wants the death penalty for drug pushers. He wants the death penalty, as if they're murdering people. People that have the will and the free choice of doing what they wish to do, what substances and they wish to intake. And he's talking about having a death penalty. There are already life sentences for some drug pushers. If they've pushed, kilos of cocaine or pounds of weed or, pills, thousands of pills of Molly or whatever the case may be, their lives are totally upended. Because of what? Because somebody wanted to make a decision about their own body, about their own life. They want to decide to say, hey, I want to try this drug. I want to do these drugs. I want to be a consistent drug user. I want to be all over that. I'm all for it. Let's go. That's where we are. That's where we are. Around the world. Scheduled. I think maybe in Amsterdam, but it's serious as hell outside of Amsterdam. If you get arrested, who was it that got arrested in Amsterdam? I can't even remember. I'm going off the top of my head right now. I didn't do this research, but I did do research on pink cocaine, quote unquote, whatever pink cocaine is. It's a lot of things mixed together. So, I mean, there's it's also called Tusi. I meant to say that. The number 2 in capital letter C, or TUSI, or TUCI, has various names. Here's a quote. Over the last few years, it's from Hot New Hip Hop, there have been increasing raids and arrests connected with pink cocaine. Reports state that California and New York were locations of crackdowns, as the coasts of Mexico and Central and South America were monitored for 4 months this year. Over 140 pounds, about 60 kilos, of Tusi was seized during this time. The U.S. Coast Guard has been diligent in their patrols, capturing several illicit drugs, including Tusi, worth upward of $2 billion on the street. $2 billion on the street. That's cheap. That's nothing. Wait till Merck gets a hand on it. Wait till AbbVie gets a hand on it. Wait till AstraZeneca gets a hand on it. See how much of it goes for $2 billion. It'll go up to $500 billion probably. I'm just spitballing. I don't know the exact numbers, but it would be much more. It would be safer. The exact ingredients will be packaged to say, hey, look, you're about to do a serious drug. And just imagine if it wasn't cooked behind with people with bandanas on their face and swirling a big pot, a bubble and stuff, like they're witches at a witch's mass or something like that. Bubble, toil and trouble. It's a totally different game. When you add Norvis, Novartis, excuse me, Eli Lilly, Bristol Myers Squibb, Bayer. They make aspirin, if I'm not mistaken. I think they are. And just imagine that. Why don't we ever have that thought, that idea? Legalize it all the way. What happened with the 1920s and 30s? Prohibition. If you legalize alcohol, people are going to drink. If you illegalize alcohol, people are going to drink. There's going to be speakeasies and jazz clubs and underhanded and people rolling in dough and money, and people saying, "Oh, you look like a gangster's wife." Talking about young ladies that dress very, with opulence and with different jewelry and stuff like that. That was the height of prohibition, and it also was the height of cop deaths. Police officer deaths spiked during this time, and it has yet to be met. Gladly, our officers in the streets aren't met with, death, murder. That's what was going on in Prohibition during that time. If you look up the numbers, just type in cops or police officers, deaths or murders during Prohibition and see what you get. And what do you think about now? And agents, they clean up on it. That when they have drug busts, when they have those huge drug busts, when they have 50 keys to 100 keys of cocaine, or 50 pounds and 100 pounds of marijuana in certain states, certain areas. I know it's legal in places like California and Colorado, but it's under certain statutes. It's under certain ways. Oh, you gotta have a medical card. Oh, you can only go to this certain dispensary. Oh, you can only go at this certain time. It's not really free. It's not completely free. It's similar. It's somewhat. And people that I always talk to about drugs, they say, "Yeah, we, we. I smoke weed. Yeah, crack. Oh my God, cocaine. Oh my, heroin. No. Why? It's the same idea. It's morally speaking, maybe not practically, but morally speaking, and in somewhat a way practically, but morally speaking, all drugs should be legal because of the fact of freedom and individualism. If you want to ruin your body and not worry about, you're not going to step on anybody else's toes. You're not going to get in the way of anyone else. You're not going to, ruin somebody else's life. You should have every right to do that. If you want to be a meth head, you should have every single right to be a meth head. And nobody should stop you. Nobody should stand in your way at all. Nobody. Nobody should say, "Oh, hey man, this thing is illegal and you can go to prison for this." So what? I don't care. It should be legal. And the same thing for these drug pushers. They'll be hell. Hip hop especially is probably the most notorious for drug pushers. Everyone from the late Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, Fabulous, Pusha T, the Clips. That's his like 99% of his whole catalog is about crack cocaine or cocaine use, not use of sales. And he came from an okay background. He wasn't, rich. They weren't like an upper middle class, but they were pretty much in the middle class. It was a 2-parent household. He and his brother, and I think he had an older brother that died. But they came up, they just wanted to buy Hondas and Toyotas for their girlfriends and wear, fancy jewelry and sneakers, that nobody else had. That was their whole modus operandi. Thank you, Ross, for your obligatory like. I think that was you. I think you're the only like so far. So that just, it just irks me. It really does really bother me. Because these are lives we're talking about. And with the information that a Pfizer or a Sanofi or a Roche, or I think I pronounced that right, would provide, people would know, oh, this could make my blood pressure go up and make my heart rate go up, and I could possibly die if I take overdose on this. I'm going to take it anyway. And let them die. Let them die. I'm not saying everybody should die, but I'm saying individually, if they have all the information that isn't shown in the clubs, isn't shown on the street, hand to hand, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. So let me correct that. The meaning behind it, the significance of drug use, Tusi, pink cocaine, whatever you want to call it. It's already in the music. I think low ground, it hasn't reached the higher points of hip hop. I don't think, but it's definitely located in the underground. I'm sure. I'm sure the underground is talking about pink cocaine like crazy. It's just sad. It's really sad. People getting put away for a lifetime. Guy Fisher, he earned his doctorate degree in jail, in prison. He was released a few years ago on medical leave or medical conditions. But that's what I'm talking about. He was supposed to spend the rest of his life in prison. He would have if his health didn't fail. It's ironic. That's irony. You would have to be in prison for the rest of your life, or your life is waning, so you get to be let free. It's weird. Instead of being energetic and healthy and everything like that, and then they say, okay, you're free to go. You seem like you're gonna have a good handle on your life. It's well, he's old and sick, so we might as well let him go. It just gets me. I may be having two people in here right now. I have two people in here. But if two people told two people and two people told two people and it just kept on going on and on like that, that's what I mean for not even reform, just complete overhaul of the drug game. An overhaul. Start it all over from day one. Start it over from when these substances, which benefited mainly brown and black people, let's be honest, and it benefited brown and black people especially. All these substances. And the same thing goes for alcohol. Now that it's legal, there's commercials. They don't even have commercials for cigarettes anymore. The irony, this is a night of irony. I remember going to a REACH program and different programs and of drug addicts and stuff like that. They're smoking their lives away. They're drinking their lives away. All this caffeine, all this nicotine, all in their system, converting their cells, changing the way the patterns go. They're probably their DNA, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist. I'm just spitballing here. But you can't even see a commercial for cigarettes. You can see a whole lot of commercials for alcohol, beer, wine, gin, tequila, and much more. All that's factored in. All that's placed in. But you can't get a cigarette commercial. There used to be cigarette ads in magazines. I don't think they have those anymore. I remember seeing Jet magazine, and they had a cool advertisement on the back or Newport. They either had Cools or Newports in the magazine when we used to get it as subscribers. I don't even know if they do that anymore. It's probably not. It's probably all online based, and it's like, let me see if you can even do this. Can you even do this? Newport. So they have a website. You have to sign in with your email or password, or you can register. You have to register. Here's the Surgeon General's warning: smoking causes lung cancer, heart disease, emphysema, and may complicate pregnancy. See, we wouldn't even need a Surgeon General's warning, because the government will be the hell out of the way. The government would just serve as a policeman protecting individual rights. And that means people that want to sell crack cocaine, that want to sell heroin, that want to sell crystal meth. That's what that means. So there will be no Surgeon General warning whatsoever. There would just be the private companies which would fight, or not fight, but compete. They would compete for their market share by showing the exact ingredients of each of the substances that they will be selling, just like they normally do now. I get drugs. I use drugs every day. I've lost weight finally. I finally lost weight because I had a liquid diet. I haven't had a single solid food in over almost a week. It'll be a week on tomorrow. So who is it? Who is that? Is that somebody that needs to tell me? Oh, you should be eating solid foods or something like that. Do I need some little government bureaucrat hop out of my pocket and saying no, no, no? You shouldn't. You should be eating those solids or whatever the case. Or people that eat sweets. Oh, no, no, no. You shouldn't be eating that pumpkin pie. Put down the pumpkin pie. Pick up a broccoli stalk or a celery stalk and a broccoli stick. I don't know what is it. Broccoli stick? Maybe it is stalk. I don't know. But it's just so out of hand. It's just so terrible, the state of affairs in which we live. Because most of the people have an idea in their mind that goes crazy. Probably before I knew about Ayn Rand and her philosophy of objectivism, I was probably one of those people. Like, oh yeah, they definitely should, illegalize or keep illegal all the drugs. And then I kind of was thinking in my mind, possibly like, well, Jay-Z and Pusha T and Jadakiss and all these other rappers, so many rappers that came up in that era, the coke rap they call it, or crack rap, cocaine chic, they had that same idealism about what to do with selling drugs, and people obviously using drugs. If you're gonna sell it, you obviously want somebody to use it. So and like I said, they get off. The cops, they get off on it. I can't blame the cops because that's what their job is. They can't just say, we should start legalizing drugs. Everybody else will be like, no, 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 you can't do that. We're getting our bonuses, we're getting our checks, we're getting these deposits. Because that's what happens. If they get a big drug bust, oh boy, we had 100 keys that fell over outside of a boat. What about the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of keys that are still distributed throughout the world? But no, they get they'll be able to buy a grill or add on to their house or put up a fence or buy that new Silverado 2025 Silverado or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? People are so caught up in that idealism. People are so caught up in the fact that I'm for law enforcement. I'm definitely for, and I'm for the police arresting the drug dealers. I'm for that because it's on the books now. They should go to jail. They should go to prison. I mean, they shouldn't, but as it stands right now, as I'm speaking, those who are pushing pink cocaine, and I hate to call it that, I'm just going to call it Tusi. Tusi, people that are pushing Tusi are, not at fault. They shouldn't be at fault. They should not be, because they're providing a service. They're providing a product. They're providing something that somebody else wants. And that should be championed. That they have the ability to do that. That they have the ability to sell. I mean, just look about all you look at The Wire. Look at the show. What was his name? Stringer Bell. Hold on. I can't think of his name. Idris Elba. Idris Elba's character is Stringer Bell. Took classes at the local community college to try to be a better businessman. And that's what they are. They're mid-level and high-level and low-level businessmen. There's couriers, there's runners, there's kingpins, all the way up. And this is what I've always wondered. What other billionaire, even if they had to go to a different business, what other billionaire besides Jay-Z was a former drug pusher but became a billionaire and has been able to stay as a billionaire, to live as a billionaire. How many others can say that? I don't think there's too many. He's the highest paid music mogul currently. I think number one. I think it goes like number 4 is Taylor Swift. Number 3 is Rihanna. Number 2 is Sir Paul McCartney, and then Jay-Z. Number 1. So that's my little spiel about drugs. Don't say no. Don't say no to life. Say no to drugs. Say yes to life. That's all I'm saying. All right, I'm going to promote my show, and it's going to go down from 5 viewers to 0 viewers really fast. I'm going to promote my story. My story is called Vessel Control Part 2, and you can find it on vocal.media. If you type in Vessel, Vessel, space, control, Control, space, part, Part, 2, letters I, and you'll come up with my story. What does it entail? It entails a space saga. It entails an achievement. It entails judgment of ideas. It entails honor, and it entails all these different things mixed up together. And it really resonates. It gives an impression of what it truly means to be within the confines of a spaceship, a spacecraft, and it's very special the way it shows itself. So I implore you. I'm not begging you, but I implore you. Does implore mean beg? Just be a different word. Let me see. Implore. You can also go to Google and look for it. Yeah, it is. It means the same thing, beg. So I guess I beg you. I'm begging you. Please read my story. Share my story. Subscribe, tip, share, like, comment, read, and pledge to my story. See, it's going down. It's 1 and 2 now. But you can go to Google, put in Vessel Control Part 2. See what pops up. It should be in the fiction section. And like I said before, I have a great, trusting relationship with the designer of the artwork to the story. And you can find me on X at Skylerize, SKYLERIZED. Also at Skylerize on Instagram. And my Facebook is Skylar Space Saunders. And you can just look up, what you can. But like I was saying, with the artist, his name is Kurt DZ. And you can find him on email by designbydz@gmail.com. So he does an excellent job. Like I was just blown away the detail, the lighting, the complete understanding of what I really wanted to be shown. So I really appreciate his valor and his honor of my wishes, and his pride, and in the face of a deadline. I appreciate that. So I have 5 likes right now, and I have 5 comments. So I want to see if I can get like 100,000 likes and 5,000 comments, something like that, and as many reads as possible. I want to have 2 billion reads. No, I'm not going to get 2 billion reads, but I want to get at least 200,000 reads, or maybe to 2 million, because it's a numbers game. It's all a numbers game. Mostly, for the most part, I'm saying. If you have more views or you have more reads, you're in a better position than the person that has lesser reads. Even though it's about artistry,
It's just like the Grammys. I mean, or not like the Grammys, especially since '98, where DMX had back-to-back #1 albums, '97 and '98, I think they were, '98 and '99, and he had no nominations whatsoever. So Jay-Z boycotted the Grammys, and I think '98. I think that's when the year was, because that's just crazy. I mean, that's an indication. I mean, is it good because it has a million sales, or is it has a million sales because it's good? I say the latter. You get more views, you get more reads because of the quality of your work. And I know I have quality work. I'm saying that out of pride and selfishness and honor of my own ability. I'm not meek and mild and modest and humble and oh shucks, really you guys think that? No, I know that. I know it. I know I'm that good. I'm just that good. So Vessel Control Part 2. Look it up, find it out, share it. Like I said, there's a lot to do. Read, share, subscribe, like, comment, tip, and pledge to have this story the #1, because it's in a competition. It's a challenge. They call it challenges on Vocal. And they used to have it set up where it was like #1 was like $1,000, #2 was $500, and #3 was $250. Now they switched up their program. Sometimes it's $500 or $600 for the #1 spot for the gold. #2 is silver, and that's usually about $200, I think, something like that. And then they have like a few runners up. So I don't want to even be a runners up. I don't want bronze. I don't want silver. I want the gold. So if you guys can do whatever you can to help me get there, it'll be much appreciated. TC says 50 Cent. 50 Cent what? 50 Cent, I don't know what you're talking about. You got to give me a little bit more context. I don't know what you're saying. You're just saying 50 Cent, TC. What about 50 Cent? Is he alive? Is he okay? Now he's a businessman. He knows what he's doing. And he explained the racism and the disgustingness behind the Emmys. How Game of Thrones, which is predominantly white, has close to 50 Emmy wins out of 129 or so nominations. And what is it? Any of his works, Power and Ghost and Power Book and all his different projects, how many have they received? Zero. Zero nominations, zero wins. So something's a little up. I mean, could it be racism? Possibly. Could it just be quality of the shows? Maybe. But I think it's very telling. This is one of the best businessmen. I mean, when I first heard about 50 Cent, I was like, this guy's kind of he's too cocky. He's too full of himself. But then he was very interesting and intelligent in interviews. He would be talking about corporate America. This is way back in 2003, 2004 when he first came out. He's talking about going corporate and stuff like that. He had the mindset. He had the mind. Because everybody else is talking about, oh, he got shot 9 times. Did you know 50 Cent got shot 9 times? He got shot 9 times. Or he signed $1 million record deal with Eminem. He signed $1 million with Eminem. Oh my God, look at that. And it just goes on and on and on from there. But he's one of the best business minds that hip hop has to offer. I have to give him that much. So I just need you guys to really, do all you can. Vessel Control Part 2. This is very important to me. I want to get the gold, just like my gold tie. I want to wave it around. I want to say, hey, look at me. I won. I'm not going to do it. Hey, look at me. Look, I won. But I'm just going to say, hey, thank you. I appreciate everybody that definitely chipped in, shared, subscribed, tipped, commented, pledged, all that together. I want that to happen. I want that to just to be a part of it. Because I go back. I don't do every challenge. At first I was thinking about, this challenge is gonna be, kind of crazy. Well, I don't know about that much about boats and ships and stuff about that. So I said, shoot, I don't even know about that much about spaceships. What am I talking about? A spacecraft. What, why can't I have it on there? And the last time I did that was with what? Vessel control, the original vessel control. I actually had that in mind. And if you would like, you're free to read that too, because it gives you context to the characters, not the events. It gives the same some of the same characters reappear in Vessel Control Part 2, but not the same events. Not like there's like the events didn't carry over, the plot didn't carry over. It's a totally different plot. It's a totally different setting, or no, it's the same setting, but it's a different plot. But I'm very proud of it. Like I said, I got silver. I got silver for that. That was one of my two silvers. I have a bronze and two silvers, which was the bronze is 250, and the two silvers were each $500. What was that up to? 1250, and plus I got tips and reads. So that I have about, what's that? I think it should be 18. It should be $1,800 on vocal.media. I know that's not a lot of money. I know but that's just off of nothing. That's off of air. That's off of poof. If you don't do it, then you don't do it. But I did it. I did that thing, and I brought something out of nothing. That is the beauty of America. That's the beauty of ingenuity of digging your heels in and stopping the machine and creating something that wasn't there and making it there. There's a there. Have that understood. um I definitely appreciate everybody that will show how dedicated they are to quality work. I really think I have quality work. I wouldn't put it out. Some of my stories, not as great. They're not as good. Some of them are, I just they kind of feel like rush jobs, but this isn't a rush job. This is an actual, I hunkered down and I brought whatever it had into me, and I unleashed it and let it out, and I poured it all into Vessel Control Part 2. Remember that title, Vessel Control Part 2, only on vocal. I got to start thinking about that next time for the artistry. Only on vocal, because sometimes I might think about going to medium, thinking about doing that again, but it's on vocal. And that's another thing too, nobody knows what the hell vocal is. It's been around for almost a decade, since 2000. Well, almost, yeah, I think 2016 is when they launched. I didn't know about it till 2017. This is what I like about Facebook ads. Facebook ads are targeted. They keep wanting me to buy this free write keyboard that has soft keys and isn't connected to the internet and stuff like that. It's kind of like just a typewriter without with a digital display, and without you having to the electric or the manual mechanism go over to where it makes the ting, that in the cha 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 ting. You don't hear that at all. It's just soft keys. But it's $800, and I have $800, but I'm not going to spend it on that. I'm good. So, I really am considering the fact that people are automatically drawn to the idea of making it possible for young writers like myself. Young, I'm 36. Get off my lawn. I guess that's young in writer's years. 36. Well, not really, because there's people that have written in their 20s and have been published by major publishers. I've yet to do that. I've not even come close to becoming that. But I got 6 people in here. Whoever's in here, make sure you make sure you go to vocal.media, vocal.media, and look for Vessel Control Part 2. VESSEL space CONTROL space PART space II, because I try to get fancy and not do the number 2. I used the part 2, like the Godfather part 2. That's where I got the idea, because that's what I'm shooting for, because I didn't get the gold in the first one, but I can get gold now. And the Godfather Part 2 was one of the only, if not, I think it was the first sequel to be named Best Picture. And there's a few people that have already passed away that are part of that specific idea of the crime drama The Godfather Part 2, which is 3 hours and 22 minutes. It should not take you 3 hours and 22 minutes to go through my story. It should only take you about 6 minutes. So if you have the attention span of that much, I definitely salute you and I appreciate you. And I would really, enjoy the fact that you are going to be on track with me to getting a gold rating. That's all I'm going for. I'm not going for silver. If they give me silver, I'm tempted to not keep it. If I can return it, I'm gonna see if I can return it, because I don't want silver. I want gold. I want first place. It's not that much. It used to be 1,000, like I said. Now it's 600 or 500, somewhere around there. But this specific challenge is $600. So if you never heard of vocal, you're like, what? What is this vocal.media? What is vocal.media? People are getting paid off the internet. This is what I'm talking about. YouTube, Vocal, Medium, all these different sites that are paying you, literally giving you money for the work that you do. That's beautiful. It's not, for me, it's not enough to satisfy a lifestyle. It's not there yet. I haven't achieved that ranking yet. But I'm looking forward to it one day. That's the only reason you have fame. That's the only reason, really, if you're well known, if you're notorious, if you have notoriety. I mean, not notorious in the sense of evil or something. You're known for you're ill. But if you have fame, use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. Let people who don't know about you by way of, oh, I know that face. I know his name. I can see what he's doing. Salute. Let me be part of that. That's what we can do. We can do this together as one. For me. Let's be real. Let's be clear. This is all about me. And I'm saying that selfishly. I'm saying that, proudly. I'm saying that without humility, without modesty, without, oh, for goodness sakes, you guys are really helping me. Oh, this is so great. Wonderful, wonderful. This is really, really cool. No, I'm saying I deserve that. I deserve whatever I got coming to me. If I got runners up, I got runners up, but I'm not shooting for runners up. If I get silver, second place, I'm not, and it's holy sh. It's only $200. It's $200. I'm not going for that. I'm going for not just the 600. I just want the gold. I just want the fact that I can achieve the first place. That's what I want. That's all I'm saying. So I'll give you a brief overview of what is entailed with the challenge. It's called Overboard. Write a fiction story set on a boat that ends with a crucial character going overboard. About this challenge, the prompt: write a fiction story set on a boat that ends with a crucial character going overboard, like I just said. The setting: create a fiction story set on any kind of boat, whether it's a petite rowboat, a sailboat, a massive cruise ship, or a mighty aircraft carrier. Your tale must end with a key character going overboard. Questions to consider. All aboard? Here are some questions to help you get your entry ready to set sail. These are for brainstorming purposes only and are not required to be answered within your story. What circumstances lead to the crucial character going overboard? Is the character's fall accidental, intentional, or orchestrated by someone else? Is there a backstory or relationship that makes their going overboard particularly significant? How do other characters react to the event? Does it reveal hidden motives or deepen existing conflicts? What role does the setting, ocean, river, lake, etc., play into the narrative, and how does it enhance the story's atmosphere? Does the incident take place during a storm, under a serene night sky, amidst a confrontation, or an epic battle? What thoughts race through the character's mind as they go overboard? Could going overboard be a metaphor for a larger theme in the story? In order for your submission to qualify, it must be between 600 to 2,500 words in length, end with a crucial character going overboard. That's been emphasized now. The prizes: grand prize, $600. Second prize, $200. 10 runners up, $20. Now I don't even care. That's a big boon. You can cash out on vocal with $20, but I don't want that. I want the best. And like I've learned from August Wilson, like his mother said, sometimes nothing is better than something. I almost messed it up, but I'll say it again. His wife, his mother, Daisy Kiddo, I think it was her last name. I don't think it was Wilson, but his mother Daisy said sometimes nothing is better than something. So if whatever happens doesn't go in my favor is the gold, is first place. I'm gonna see what I can do to reverse that. That's my goal, and it's what? Let me see. How many words is this? It was published 9 days ago, updated 4 hours ago, and 5-minute read. See, it's 5 minutes, not even 6 minutes. 5-minute read. Let me see. The quick edit should tell me how many words. 1,210 words. 1,210 words. That's all there is. That's all you have to worry about. So I just wanted to switch it up on them, see if they, recognize how much I switched it up on them, like I did with vessel control, even though that wasn't gold. Vessel control was a silver. I want gold. I will say that over and over and over until I get it. But that comes down to y'all. There's 4 people in here. Search for it. Vessel control part 2. Share it. Subscribe, comment, tip, and pledge to this story. It's just that important. It's make or break. It's to use a cliche. It'll either make me or break me. But it won't really break me because I'll go back to my regularly scheduled program, which is Smarty Stand. I'll talk about that on a later date too. But I'm not publishing any stories between now and when the awards are announced. So I'm just excited. I really am excited. I'm excited about this whole process. The fact that you can do this. I mean, this wouldn't be possible 30 years ago. The internet was hardly the internet as we know it. It wouldn't have been possible, I don't think, unless they had, send it in, through snail mail, and then you get it, that way. I mean, there's differences to that as well. So, but I recommend that you go on the vocal, poke around a little bit, use your eyes. Hold on 1 second, I gotta get something. If you can read this, I got this T-shirt. You see that? You read that? It says Voices of Creators, Artists, and Leaders. Vocal Creators Club 2022. So this is 2 years ago. It's an awesome T-shirt. It's for an awesome company. I highly recommend you look into vocal. If you're a creator, if you're a photographer, you're a writer, you're a vlogger, it can enhance your skills. It can get you some money. That's what it's all about. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. Don't think it otherwise. It's all about getting paid. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're here to do. That's what the whole point is. Is to get as much money as you can. Get money in large amounts so it's hard to count. That's what we're supposed to hear for. But that's not, obviously that's not the whole thing. That's not the whole, and you don't sell your soul to just get the money. You make sure your values are aligned with what you want to do and how you want to do it, and how you want to display yourself in this world. And we're in a totally different world. As the previous segment, I was talking about Tusi. I don't even like calling it pink cocaine because it's not cocaine. It's too ironic. It's too weird because it has nothing to do with cocaine. Very little, if anything, to do with cocaine. This is my cocaine. I'm addicted to this work. They call it workaholics, but you don't necessarily have to be called a workaholic. You just be, I just use that in jest. I'm saying I'm very dedicated to my work and to whatever I have to do, because I don't have no job. I ain't got no job. I got work. There's a big difference. If you got work, then you're good. If you got a job, reconsider. And I'm at 0, going down almost an hour. So it got to y'all stuck around with me for a good time. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the 4 likes. And people were in here for about, at the top it was I think 6 people in here. And now it's during the time I was talking about vessel control part 2. So I'm just excited. It's an exciting moment for me. I'm getting my family involved. My dad keeps saying, "Oh, why aren't you post?" Oh, it's a totally different game. It's a sick game. It's crazy. It's cutthroat. People want to get published. You have to be spot on, and it doesn't even guarantee. I'm just saying, if I had 1 million, subscribers, or a billion reads, it still may not even be, worth it for them to take a chance on me. So that's just a reality. I have to say that. I'm not saying I'm putting myself down. I'm just giving myself a reality check. Like, I'm worthy of the publishing, but can I sustain it? Can I have multiple books out? Can I have, collections of stories that are worth printing in a major publisher? See that? That's what I'm talking about. So I'm very excited. I'm very in tune with what I'm doing. I understand the repercussions. I understand whatever is needed of me. And I appreciate all the help and, shares and likes and everything that goes into it. I have excellent quality work. I have quality work. Sometimes, like last time, somebody was better. You have to objectively say, somebody was better than me. And that's a fact. I'm not gonna be like, oh, sour grapes. They shouldn't have won. I should have won number 1. No, you have to look at the facts as facts are. See them as they lay. And this time, before I go, I want to make sure I say, search for VESSEL space CONTROL space part PART 2 II. I'd like to thank everybody that came in and dropped the line. Thank you very much to Baja Jackson, salute to that man. Matter of fact, let me continue a little bit more. Let me say people that that sponsor me. My main man Peng has lifestrongapparel.com. You can go on and see fitness gear. There's infused sea moss with fruit flavorings such as blueberry and mango. I had the blueberry. It's excellent. It's just great. So definitely check him out. There's BEEJACKSON5478. B Jackson, the man with the plan that gave me $11 today. How many of you can say you spent $11 on the kid? So I appreciate him. Thank you very much, B Jackson. And let me just tell you about his channel. His channel, he has cooking salmon. He's cooking chicken. He's talking about he's rating near beer. I love near beer. I can't drink alcohol because it conflicts with my drugs that I take. Talking about drugs, but I can't talk about that too much. But he can talk about near beer. And all I can talk about is near beer. This isn't a commercial, but they should be paying me. Heineken. Heineken has excellent near beer, 0 alcohol but great taste, excellent taste. So salute to B Jackson, as always. And also on YouTube, SPIRITSMOOTHTUNES, Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. If you like Najee, if you like Kim, if you like Sade, if you like Whitney Houston, Peebo Bryson, and the Fatback Band, and Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Gap Band, so many other names and titles. If you enjoy their stylings, then you're going to enjoy Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Check him out. Tell him that the goofy guy Scholar Saunders sent you. Also, twitch.tv/.focus, DOTFOCUS _1_.focus. Make sure you check him out. Make sure you see him. I might change this to the beginning of the show. I might have to do this at the beginning instead of at the end because people are not tuned in and maybe they might not catch it on the rebroadcast. But definitely check him out. He has great first-person shooter games, and he's a great shot as a sniper. So salute to him. And I appreciate his patronage, definitely his sponsorship and his advertising. Tell them that the goofy guy sent you, Scholar Saunders. And if you would like to advertise and sponsor, go to SKYLERSAUNDERS@gmail.com. ScholarSaunders@gmail.com. Also, if you want to join the likes of Hype, who contributed $100 when I first started this program this month, he contributed $100 off the bat. So he had May and June. Then he had like $70 for July, but he didn't complete it for 30. But he would have had 4 months in a row. But he had May, June, and then August. So I appreciate him. So let me see. That should be it. 100th Club. And I should see you all sometime tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in, and take care.